What's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram with your host, Komp.
I'm ready.
And today's film is...
It's the original Friday the 13th, 1980, before all of the sequels and
Yes,
spin-offs.
to celebrate Friday the 13th of 2018. Friday the 13th,
Yes.
1980. A mere, I can't do the math of how many years that's been. A group of camp counselors...
Wait, are you kidding? It's 38 years.
Wow, good. A group of camp counselors are stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a summer camp which, years before, was the site of a child's drowning. Directed by Sean S. Cunningham. Written by Victor Miller and Sean S. Cunningham. Starring Betsy Palmer, Adrienne King, Janine Taylor. Is that Janine Taylor? Yeah,
Janine
yeah, it's like a
Taylor.
really complicated way of Janine Taylor. Robbie Morgan, Kevin Bacon. He brings the bacon. Kevin Bacon, mostly known for his band, the Bacon Brothers, not acting. Harry Crosby.
Is this one of his first? It might be.
Yeah, I think so. It's sort of like how Johnny Depp was in
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
Laurie Bartram, Mark Nelson, Peter Brower, and a bunch of other people. Wait, who played that? Oh, okay, Walt Gorney. I had to say Walt Gorney, who played Crazy Ralph. So this film, Friday the 13th, why did we pick this one today?
Why not? Because Friday the 13th is coming up, because we've never reviewed this, strangely enough.
Yeah, so Friday the 13th is this classic film in the slasher genre. A lot of people like to point to the three main slashers of the times, which were Friday the 13th, obviously Halloween,
and Nightmare.
And I would like to, but no, actually to start out, I meant like Black Christmas. Black Christmas being older. Black Christmas being 1974. Way ahead of its time as being an actual sort of slasher film, and then being followed by Halloween, which is more of a stylized slasher film, and then of course Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th is sort of the redheaded stepchild of the original trio, I guess. But
I always consider Sleepaway Camp up there too, but for whatever reason it never made it to quite this level.
And that was equally as, that's equally as great of a slasher. They're really good slasher films. It's weird watching this film. If you've grown up watching the Friday the 13th series, obviously you grew up watching Jason Voorhees as this unstoppable zombie killing machine.
Yeah, but none of that in this.
And you don't really have to watch the first one because it's basically for some reason everybody knows that. I don't even know how I knew that it was the mother that killed him or was the killer in the first film.
Right.
Spoilers, everybody.
Yeah, I've always known that too, but I mean, I have seen this in bits and pieces over the years, and I'm sure I've seen it fully. Like, I know the movie, I don't remember the last time I ever watched it fully,
Right, and it was gigantically spoilered, obviously, in Scream, the movie. That's like one of the main opening lines in the film is like, Jason's mother did it, that kind of thing.
Right.
So, and surprisingly enough, I actually found myself enjoying this movie. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's great.
I think it's because I'd seen it in bits and pieces, like hilariously, I'd seen it on regular television, before cable. So whenever somebody got killed, you know how
they take out all the fun bits,
right? You know how in this film everybody would like the frames of the film would slow down like super slow mo while they're getting killed.
Yeah, my favorite is the decapitation.
They did that, but then they also froze the screen so you couldn't see any of the after bits. Although they didn't automatically. They didn't show anybody's dead body on the television version, but for some reason they slowed it down even more of them getting killed, and I would just laugh and laugh, especially the girl.
Did they slow down the sex scenes?
They did that. They just zoomed in on Kevin Bacon's nostrils. No, the only one I remember, I think the only death that's automatically shown after it happens is I believe the girl with the axe in her head. Because they didn't show. Well, no, actually that girl who gets her throat slashed too, but they like zoomed in real close, like you couldn't see it. I mean, holy God, was editing for TV. I love. It's so
funny. It's like a whole like subculture of movies is the editing.
I absolutely love those movies. But I remember seeing, I think Friday the 13th Part 4. Is that the one where it wasn't Jason? Remember, it was like somebody's pissed off dad or something like that. No, that was Jason 5. Jason 5
Oh, is that the mental asylum one?
That was the one with the crazy people? I'm sorry, the mentally deranged people or mentally ill people? I don't know what to say anymore. So, and anyway, so on television, there's like a scene with a guy who, for some reason, it's in the 80s, but a guy's dressed up as a greaser from the 50s. And he's in the car because somebody's supposed to be fixing, something under the hood. he's like, come on, man, come on. And he starts bebopping, and then like Jason slashes his throat, and it's really graphic. But when they show it on TV, you wouldn't even know what happened because they digitally zoomed in on the guy's face, and you don't know what happened in the scene. And I tell you this, I laughed so hard just looking at how because I'm picturing somebody in the editing bay going, "What the fuck do I do with this scene?" You know what I mean? Because the guy gets his throat slit.
Oh, it's called A New Beginning, that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I actually don't know if I mean, I know about it. I definitely know all about it. It's the survivor of the movie before that, Tommy or whatever.
Right. He's at a mentally ill people's camp retreat or something. Here's the thing with this, and I'm gonna probably say something that's controversial. I guess even though who really.
What? No, I want to know your controversial saying. Say it.
I can't stand. No, I think I enjoy the films that don't have, the main bad guy in it as a factor in the film.
Jason?
I guess maybe because Jason's not killing anybody. It's Jason in the movie, but it's not Jason. It's obviously somebody else doing him. At the end, it's revealed it's a guy who's doing it. It's the same reason why I liked Halloween 3. Because
Halloween 3 is a great movie.
Yeah, because you watch these series of films and you're like, okay, so it's this guy again. He's an unstoppable killing machine. Exactly. And then I can go back in time. I'm sure had I been a fan of. Had I been alive growing up when they made this, I think I was alive when this was going on. I was like probably not even years old yet. I wouldn't know. I wasn't born with this.
Well, the thing is,
but if I was around when they made Jason, or actually this doesn't count because Jason 1, but like Halloween or something, and then they made Halloween 3, and then he's not in it, I'd be like, what the fuck's going on? Or just like Jason 5.
Right.
I'd be pissed. But watching these films in hindsight, where they try to take it in a different direction, makes it an odd one-off type of film, and I actually appreciate those type of films.
I mean, it was a genuinely good movie, but like the thing with Jason, with Friday the 13th movies and like Halloween movies is they're basically all the same exact thing. But then you get into Nightmare on Elm Street, and even though it is a slasher movie, like it's like really. Everything that happens is totally different. Like each death is like so unique.
Well, you can't really say that with Jason movies, especially the ones that start.
Well, exactly, I know.
With the Jason films, they're really special when they have that certain actor. What's his name? That a big guy.
Oh, Tim Kaine.
Tim Kaine, isn't that?
Wait, Tim Kaine. That's a politician, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Herman Cain, maybe? No, the guy who plays Jason for like 3 movies. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of his name. Something Kane something. The guy that's
Kane
in
Hodder. Kane Hodder. Remember,
Tim Kaine is like a politician, I think.
Kane Hodder is so special as a Jason Voorhees. Anyway, I enjoyed that, but yeah, you're right about and the interesting about this is that Seamus Cunningham, who's a producer, I heard a really fascinating interview with him. There's a podcast called Postmortem. And it's with the guy. Oh, I don't know why the fuck I'm blanking on his name. He's the guy who directed The Stand, the TV movie. Like he did a lot of Stephen King adaptations for film or on television or whatever. And he runs a really good podcast called Postmortem. So look that up. And they interviewed Sean Cunningham. I just happened to listen to this episode a couple of weeks ago.
Trying to find the name of the director, but. Go on.
Yeah, just look at Postmortem podcast, and I should say his name. And he's like Seamus Cunningham is really like a film director. He's not a horror film director because he had a couple of other. I think he might have had one slasher before this, but he worked closely with Wes Craven on a couple of projects. And he in that episode he explained how The Last House on the Left, got its name, and how he helped work on
Mick
Garris, right? Anyway, so. Seamus Cunningham had worked on they were just trying to figure out names for films, and essentially he was like, well, what kind of name could grab an audience? I don't think they even had an idea for a film yet, and then he just wrote down Friday the 13th, and then they took out a poster with you see the title in the film, how it's the logo crashing through a window,
right?
And that's basically how they sold the film to get investors, and they didn't even have an idea yet. So that shows you like Seamus Cunningham is a really good businessman and a film guy, and the film's not bad. Like it's really good.
I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, because I can't stand. I think Danny knows that I can't stand 70s movies because there's a lot of horse shit that happens.
Well, this is 80.
Well, it's not. They filmed it in '79 and then released it in '80, I guess, or maybe
it definitely captures more of the '80s feeling to me than the '70s.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. But it's not like how Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I guess, was a much older film. And is Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah, no, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is older. Yeah,
something. and I could not like stand the talking in that film. And here, there's bits of that where there'll be long takes of somebody making coffee, and but I think you're supposed to read, like the main character Alice, you're supposed to be reading sort of the unease on her face when she's walking around making that coffee, like it's just too quiet for her.
We didn't get to see her boobs, did we?
No, we did not. It was
it's a shame.
Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, they say usually this film is pointing out anybody who did drugs or had illicit sex got killed in this movie.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the first movie to really kind of go with that.
I wonder because I'm thinking in Black Christmas, everybody smoked up, and I don't know if they all had sex, the girls in that.
Yeah,
film.
But they weren't. Well, yeah, actually, Santa killed them for being naughty, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, and the thing is, what I was wondering, what was missing in this film for me was that sort of, I guess it wasn't missing, but like how in Black Christmas they have that one shot that's like a holy shit shot in the movie. Like, remember when she
But then the lights going in the face or whatever? Or the plastic bag?
No. Well, besides that, I meant the shot where the killer is revealed and you just see his eyeball looking through the door. Like that scene.
Okay.
And it's just like an extreme close-up of an eye looking through this door that the lady sees, and it's like fucking frightening. Like, that's not here, but I would say that the killer reveal is pretty bad in this movie because it's like, who else is in this movie besides this lady coming out at the end?
It's Jason not really Mom. Like a shock, but it does get pretty crazy though when she starts like
when she's talking to herself. And it has that tight shot on her face, and she's like, "Kill her, mommy, kill!" She's doing the voice, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." Like,
so she was the one screaming like, "Help me!"
Yeah, right. The only thing I wish they had done was peppered her throughout the beginning of the film. Have that character show up earlier in the film.
Maybe it was too much of a giveaway,
But I think because at the end credits it says starring this lady, Pamela Betsy Palmer as Jason Voorhees' mom, that for some reason she was probably a bigger deal and she probably only got to work like one day on set or something.
She had her own makeup person. I was looking at the credits.
Oh, there you go.
Because I was I know Tom Savini did this movie and.
This wasn't one of, I don't think this is one of his first films, though, right? But
no, it's not. He did, Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, right. So, I mean, the original one he worked on as a kid or something? No, he did the remake.
Well, he did the remake.
Okay, yeah. I'm just thinking about what he did before that. But and there's a great interview on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast with Tom Savini, and he goes into his past and how I think he was a photographer for Vietnam.
Oh, my bad. He did Dawn. Well, actually, keep talking. I'm listening.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead was before this one. So
no, he started with Dawn of the Dead, not Night of the Living Dead.
When was Dawn of the Dead? That was in 70, right? That had to be in the 70s something.
Yeah, it was 78.
Okay, so obviously it was like 2 years before the release of this one. But Tom Savini's his effects are really good.
He's been in a lot of shit, man. I'm looking at his IMDb, it's crazy.
His effects in this movie are fucking incredible. They're just like super gruesome and graphic.
He directed the Night of the Living Dead remake. My bad.
I know, that's what I said. Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah, the Night of the Living Dead remake has the greatest ending credits in history with the disco music. Anyway, so with this film has a bunch of 6 kids who are going to be camp counselors at this reopened area called Camp Crystal Lake. And they were just getting shit from everybody in the neighborhood.
My God, what sexy counselors too! I feel bad.
They're really pretty. Who I thought? Who was your cutest counselor to you?
I liked the one that had sex with Kevin Bacon. I'm forgetting her name. I also liked the cook that got killed in the beginning.
The girl who was hitchhiking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Her name was Annie.
Yeah, that was the one that I thought was really cute. She was a really cute girl, and she got because she was so smiley and happy, and that old man.
And then she got a nice smiley on her throat, and that was the end of her.
Also, for some reason they had Pete Brower as Steve Christie. He's the only character. He's
Chris Christie's brother.
He decided to shut down a bridge after.
He shut down the bridge that could have rescued them from Mrs. Voorhees.
So there's Adrienne King as Alice, who's the main character in the film. She sort of looked to me like Buster Brown, if you've ever seen that shoe company. But she's very pretty. She's somebody. It's weird because she looks normal. She sort of has that weird mushroom haircut.
I don't feel so bad. She was 25 when this was filmed. That's fine. perfectly within the legal limits. No, I was thinking, am I like...
Sick? Oh, you thought she was like 17 in the movie or something? No, they all.
I found myself attracted to all of them. And I was like, wait, but they're like...
Oh yeah, no, they all were obviously in their 20s in this film. I didn't think of them as any younger than what they were supposed to be, but
okay.
She actually looked. It's so weird because Alice looks hotter and hotter towards the end of the film, and I don't understand how that happens.
The more scared she becomes.
Yeah, like when she's like at the very end, when she's like, "He's still out there," and they have the lake, and I'm like, "Well, she looks fucking hot."
She also becomes stupider and stupider.
Oh yeah, she's dumbass. Like she could have done
the stuff she does.
Tell me, like if Mrs. Voorhees attacks you, maybe I'm a psychopath.
You're gonna just sit and wait for her to get back up.
Right? Yeah, like I would cut her feet off.
Yeah, no, like seriously, she does it like 4 times.
I would just cut her feet off and be like, okay, and then she won't run after me.
But I will say,
Alice would have a really she could get work as working for a religious extremist cult because she took that lady's head off with one swipe of a little blade. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Some of those
in slow motion too.
Some of those execution videos they take a while to saw a guy's head off. She did it in one.
Her and Jon Snow would be hacking up anybody who left the watch.
And it was one of the first times I've ever seen in a horror film where legitimate, like, the villain is like, oh shit, I fucked up look on their face because Mrs. Voorhees has the most comical look on her face before she gets decapitated. And I keep forgetting how graphic the decapitation is, especially since I saw it on regular TV. You could imagine what they did on TV.
I know this is really petty, but I can't stand her sweater. It drives me insane.
I was looking at it like a female version of Ash Williams's clothing, like the blue top and the pants and shit.
It's just couldn't they have done better?
But you could, for some reason, her acting, like Betsy Palmer's acting, it sounded very, very much like stage acting. Like she was over the top, and the directors just let her do what she wanted to do.
Right.
There was nothing like, which is fine.
Well, she's supposed to be crazy. She kind of reminded me of a watered-down Aunt Martha from Sleepaway Camp. I'm sure, and Sleepaway Camp was definitely inspired by this movie.
There's nobody that can fucking compare to Aunt Martha from that.
Aunt Martha was the best.
She was insane. But
no, that movie definitely was inspired by this movie. No doubt.
Betsy Palmer's acting here is almost like I can't describe it. It's like super overacting, but not in like in a good way in some parts, like
right.
Oh, she's just a child. She's so young, but I guess she is supposed to be crazy. But I mean, like it was like super, like
she's one of those old time actresses.
Yeah, like she was on stage or something, waiting for the next line. So rounding out the cast with other characters, there's let me see, Marcy, who's Janine Taylor. I'm blanking on what the characters. I remember what they look like because I just saw the movie right now.
Marcy was, I believe, the one playing Strip Monopoly.
Okay, so she's the one they throw her body through the window and stuff like that.
Yes, I think so. And she's roped up and stuff.
Kevin Bacon is Jack. Kevin Bacon's really good in this. I didn't know he was going to have that substantial of a role in this film, even though it's probably just 6 characters. I thought he was just sort of some cameo since I never saw the film, and he has an awesome death.
Oh, Marcy gets an axe in her head. It's hard to keep track of their names, honestly.
And Kevin Bacon has a great death scene with that. Is it a spear going through his neck? I couldn't tell if it was an arrow. Yeah, it looks like an arrowhead. It was an arrowhead. Did I say a spear?
I mean, so that's the thing though with these movies. They always have these super strong. I mean, do you know how hard it would be to put an arrow through a bed and then all the way through somebody's throat?
Not just a bed, Danny, a bunk bed. Like, what the fuck, dude? This lady's 50 or something years old. She killed 2 people in the beginning of the movie in 1958.
Yeah,
and then she's probably in her 50s now or late. No, she looked like 50 something in the movie. And then what I understand about that is that. Okay, well, let's see what the other characters are. There's also Harry Crosby, who to me looked like a young Ted Cruz before he turned into this formless gorp that he is now. Like I was telling Daniel, this guy.
I read an article once that was talking about the science of why Ted Cruz's face is so unpleasant to look at.
He sort of looks like, that image that they say has this man visited you in your dreams, and there's just that unsettling face that they draw.
He's like an actual nightmare, he is. The mythological creature.
He's just a grotesque, shapeless void of a person. He reminds me, him and Marco Rubio are 2 fucking, and I'm Latino, and they disgust
yeah, they really are.
You can tell, I don't have to be. I'm not a person where it's like, oh man, you have to stand with other Latinos. I don't really give a shit about other people, but
he's a pretty bad representation of.
They just make me, but I don't even. I don't actually even consider them Latino. Not that they should wear straw hats and have shoes made out of coffee cans or whatever.
Well, they're rich.
Right. So I guess it sort of makes you inhuman.
When you become
something.
that rich, you no longer are part of you know whatever you were part of initially. Like
yeah,
you don't
but
represent
you can
your
tell, and
people,
it's not like
people.
and it's not like a racial thing. It's just that there's some sort of they come off as sort of Ivy League pussy boys. You know what I mean? Like like they're better than other people for some reason. Like Marco Rubio tries to act cool. And Ted Cruz is such a fucking schmuck.
Ted Cruz is definitely worse of the two.
Yeah, he's a schmuck. Marco Rubio is a twat, but Ted Cruz is just a grotesque creature. and it's not because, well, I do disagree with him politically. I just don't like him as a person. There's a lot of people who, because of their personality traits, they're just disgusting to me. And not because I disagree with them politically, just because they're gross as a person, just so arrogance with them. And he looks like this guy, Harry Crosby, who actually grew up to be an actual handsome person. Yeah. But Ted Cruz sort of looked like him. But Ted Cruz sort of looks like this guy, Harry Crosby, but like with Bob Hope features, like the nose stretched out and the jaw.
Where are you going?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to fill up time. But anyway, so Harry Crosby grew up to he got out of acting, and I think he got into successful.
Is he
career.
Bing Crosby's son?
He is actually. Surprisingly, I looked it up, and he was like, he is. There's also Mark Nelson as Ned. Is that the? That's
the one that pretends to drown.
Is that one of your people, Danny? Because I believe they specifically say, I think his name is Feldman or something like that. He has like a very Jewish last name in the film.
I mean, his nose looks like my kind.
No, he's a Jewish character because I think they say that in the movie. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
And the way he drowns or pretends to drown is very nebbishy. So I'm gonna say
I would. You know what? Telling you the truth, I would have rather seen him have the love scene instead of Kevin Bacon because
he'd be like, "Excuse me." May I make love to you, ma'am?
Excuse me.
Oh my God, this is wet.
I'm gonna cover your forehead and feet. Excuse me.
Is this sheet the right size?
Can I cut a anyway? So so he's I guess he's supposed to be the goofy, funny character in the film. He's not bad.
I do like him. The thing with this movie is like, it's the beginning of all of these tropes in a way. I mean, obviously, it's not the first slasher movie, but definitely,
it's
definitely very influential, and you can see where all of these like horror movie tropes kind of started in this movie a little bit.
And the thing that's like refreshing about this film is that like it's not self-aware. It's not to that point yet where movies are now where everything has to make a joke about shit.
Yeah, I kind of hate that. Like when all these movies like that are like supposed to be like callbacks to the 80s, it's like they're very aware that they're like
they pop the neon and they have synth music and they'll have
it's like very like in your face nostalgia porn sort of stuff. It's like just make a movie, like,
and that's what this film is. Like you can tell what Sean S. Cunningham did with this. Like he didn't make a stylized movie like Halloween, and he didn't make a semi-stylized movie like Black Christmas. He just sort of made a film that happened to have murders in it, but it had a definite air. It was closer to Sleepaway Camp in its weird spookiness, like in the darkness sort of thing.
It preceded Sleepaway Camp, so it's
right. So I mean, well, it's in that same sort of vein. Like these films, like when you have that out, just out in the boonies sort of feeling to it, that's unsettling. That's what I think he got right with this. There's a lot of like scenes where people just do shit for a long time, and there's really some impressive one long takes. Where like Alice is walking with, I believe.
You see that guy, the crazy guy riding the bike away. For like a minute.
That scene where Alice and Bill go to check the phones, and it's just like one long take of her breaking it, and then going in, and the camera follows him looking through the window, and then it goes up to show the phone wires are cut. Like I thought that's really inventive for what it is.
The 80s was great. There were so many horror movies. Like Evil Dead came out like a year or two later.
Oh yeah, and that's a completely different type of style of film. Like
Nightmare on Elm Street came out in like 84, I think.
I was watching the new season of Ash vs. the Evil Dead season 3, and they're making up completely for how they fucked up in season 2. So like, and I was just thinking about how that series started out like serious, then goofy, and then completely like crazy by the third thing, and then like the show was like slapstick horror.
I mean, the first movie was kind of like just some kids having fun, basically.
Right, and Sam Raimi was like the only person who could transition the series like that, which is I guess the correct way to take that film series. But like Friday the 13th, like you and I say, all these horror films are trying to do that, like fucking Jason X, like it's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And Child's Play is trying to be funny now. Well,
Oh man, the new Child's Plays were brutal. But the first Child's Play movies, I mean, yeah, it's a slasher movie, but like it's a unique thing.
Right.
Well, actually, it's not even unique because that idea has been done in like Twilight Zone and Talking Tina. But like, still, they did it in a fun way, and it's unique enough that you can make something different than the other ones. But then it just becomes so stupid.
And Leprechaun starts out as quasi funny, the first film. And then when you see when they try to make it serious. Remember when we saw that Leprechaun Origins when they turned?
Oh, that's a terrible movie.
It was terrible. And now they're gonna do one next year for Sci-Fi Channel with the Leprechaun, and it's a completely different actor doing a bad impression of the original actor.
It's gonna be terrible because you can't beat Warwick Davis.
No, of course. I'll show you the trailer after this. I just feel bad for the actor playing him. He's the guy who played Marlon Wayans' body in Little Man. So he's playing a new, so you might like it. You like Little Man. I can't understand that, but whatever.
I mean, it's a terrible movie, but it's fun, you know? I like it.
But this film, you know what I don't understand is like when Kevin Bacon went to go pork that girl, they didn't see Ned's body on the top bunk of that bed.
Well, they show it, but then they don't like address it at all. But I know, like
but
that.
like they walked into the room and there's clearly Ned, his throat slashed on top of the bed, and I guess their horniness level must have like overshadowed the top
look
parts
at her.
of their eyelids.
You wouldn't be able to focus either.
Even
if I was in the middle of having sex with her and I noticed him, I would keep going and wait to tell her until after I was done.
And there was two problematic moments with one with the guy pretending to drown, and he starts kissing the girl who's giving him mouth to mouth. That's
Harvey Weinstein.
That's a Harvey Weinstein right there. And then also Steve, what is his name? What the hell is his name? Steve Christie. When he's who's a very unique looking man. He's got this like blonde hair and glasses. He looks like super serious. And then he like rubs the side of Alice's
that was
face,
creepy. That was the only part that genuinely was creepy.
That was like very creepy. And the thing is, the movie could have done better with red herrings because, like, while these people are getting killed, you see Steve Christie drinking coffee somewhere. You know what I mean? Crazy Ralph, I guess they're trying to show is the killer. But like Crazy Ralph,
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, even if I didn't know for years and years and years and years and have seen the movie and read the parts, like, there's no hiding that it's her. Like, it's obvious.
What do you mean if you'd seen the movie Cold? Like she doesn't come.
Yeah, I think if I had seen the movie Cold for the first time ever, this time I would have known it was her as soon as she popped up because it was like, who's this random
she's
lady?
The only person who shows up at the end. Yeah, that's why I think they should have showed her more in that film. I would have believed that waitress who served Steve Christie his coffee before anybody else in this movie because
if they had like put her in it like a few other times and like just quickly had her like, oh hey kids or something.
And Crazy Ralph just rides his bicycle off into the darkness, I guess.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a red herring, but instead we see him ride away for a minute and a half straight.
So that's what I mean. That's why I enjoyed the film, and that this movie shows you how this event scared Ted Cruz so much as a young man, getting shot by arrows onto a wall, that he decided to change his name from Bill to Tim Cruz,
Ted.
And then decided to become religious and hate gay people. That's what happened. He thought
creep out his own family. Yo, I saw there was a GIF once I saw. It was Ted Cruz trying to like shake hands with that Fiona, you know, that woman that was running as one of the 20 million Republicans.
I think I know about this. What happened?
Fiona, whatever. I can't remember her name. She was horrible, but he was trying to shake hands with her.
I do remember what happened.
And it shows their hand. It was like a very awkward failed attempt at handshake, and their hand looked. The meme or the GIF basically said, "This is like two alien spiders attempting to mate," and you just see their hands like all like moving around, like all awkward. It was so funny.
And so I guess on screen we also the scene with the snake was unscripted, and they actually did kill it for the movie. So I hope. Yeah, they actually.
I bet Tita wasn't happy about that.
I guess not. Hey, if you really got a problem, go watch Cannibal Holocaust. But yeah, I was always like iffy on animals getting killed on screen because I'm not like a super animal like, but you know they shouldn't just get killed for fucking movies. Like, eat them at least. You know what I mean? Use them for something. But yeah, apparently they killed that snake for real in this movie. I mean, if you've ever seen. We will do Cannibal Holocaust sometime, I guess. That just movie makes me.
I've seen it like a long time ago. I remember thinking it was definitely not as bad as everybody makes it seem, but also like just not pleasant, you know.
Okay, so Victor Miller, who was the co-writer on this, or the writer of this film, he said that originally the name of Jason was supposed to be Josh, but people said that Josh's name is too nice. So they decided to change it to Jason. And he said he admitted that he purposely writing off the success of Halloween. So
I'm glad that it's not, that it wasn't Josh.
Josh Voorhees. I would put like Josh Voorhees looks like if it was a guy with a hockey mask, but with an upturned collar riding a Ferrari.
And he's got a fedora.
He's not killing people. He's just showing how much immense wealth that he has. And like he just like looks at his Rolex and he shows it to the people and they get so jealous they kill themselves. That's how he kills people.
Now Halloween came out in 1979?
Yeah, I would say that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it says 1978 Halloween.
I'm trying to remember the fucking plot of the second one. Like what the
Halloween 2 or just Freddy? Oh, Halloween 2 was like isn't it the, what's her name? What the hell? Laurie Strode is brought to the hospital, and then Jason just starts
no, not Halloween 2. Not Halloween 2. Friday the 13th 2.
Friday the 13th 2 is basically, I think Alice I just looked it on YouTube. Alice gets killed in the first like 5 minutes of the movie, but Jason is fully grown. I think it's a year later.
How?
Since he supposedly died, no, he died in 58 supposedly, but he was an adult.
But like, so right off the bat, he's supposed to be just a zombie and not a natural human. Like,
I have no. I mean, if he had survived the drowning, so to speak, then he just grew up. He would have been the age that those kids were in the first movie, because it was 1958 that he died, right? And it was like 1980.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 58.
60 to 70, 70 in the 80s. So it was like 20 or something like that, I
guess. He would have been in his like 40s at this
point. We see his ghost. Like, I can't explain. Like, I could imagine maybe that was his ghost at the end, but the writers just were like, fuck it. Sean S. Cunningham basically gave over the writing reins to who was helping him on the first one. And he was basically, let's see, because he didn't know what to do with the sequels. And he just produced the rest of them. And like he always tries to get movies made, but I guess because he decided not to do Friday the 13th Part 2, he sort of was like permanent movie jail, for whatever reason. If you piss off the wrong people in Hollywood, they'll just do that to you. And they decided to make Jason this sort of, he looks like how Hatchet is. Basically, Hatchet is...
Hatchet is 100% just ripping off Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so I mean, and they even use the same guy.
They even use Kane Hodder, yeah.
Kane Hodder, the greatest Jason to ever exist, according to Kane Hodder. And so that's what Friday the 13th Part 2. I saw like the last half of that movie. I didn't watch it. It seems like none of these movies get any better except for the sixth one, because
I really like this. The one where the grave gets struck by lightning.
Right, yeah, that's when he comes back as a zombie. That's Jason.
That's Tommy Jarvis. Also, I love the one in the sewers in New York.
Is that part? I got mad because obviously I'm a New Yorker, and then like the last 10 minutes is him in New York, and the first 80 minutes are him on a fucking boat, and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, he's killing people on a boat, but I love when he gets like the toxic waste on him.
I think they did. Did they do a Toxic Avenger death in that movie where they put a girl's ass on a grill or something? Because I know in the Toxic Avenger they put a girl's ass on a sauna. But I think in Jason Goes to Manhattan, they put her ass on a grill or some shit like that.
I remember that part. Honestly, I've never really cared about. I know these movies. I watch them. They're fun, but like
like expendable films.
Yeah, but the first one is a legit movie. It really is.
Yeah, it's a different type of film. And for me, I like Part 6 the best. I like 4 after it. I hear great things about Jason 7. I think he fights like a psychic woman. And the trailer for it is great.
I've seen it. I'm sure. I just don't.
Yeah, I hear it's really
remember
good.
Exactly. Like they all kind of blur together in my brain.
Yeah, and the rest of them, I don't bother watching them. Oh yeah, and Part 5. Yes, you know what? I liked more Jasons than I would say I like more Halloweens. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I haven't really seen that many.
I don't really care about. Honestly, Nightmare on Elm Street is a whole lot better.
Oh, of course, but also even Hellraiser movies. We just saw a fantastic one recently. Oh no, I meant the opposite of it. But for what it was, for a movie from 1980, I think it takes its material seriously. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't have the trappings of now, where it's being ironic or self-effacing or self-parodying. So I think it works as a film from that type. And for that, I would give it a rating of 7 out of 10. Being the only person alive from an absolute slaughter fest. and telling these cops that a child from the lake attacked you, while they not questioning if you're the person who killed everybody in the camp itself.
Okay, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. Just having knocked out the person trying to kill you for the third time, and instead of running,
she had
sitting and laying down next to a boat and waiting for her to try to kill you again.
She had so many concussions. That lady, she was just done for. That lady, she must have been seeing stars when she was attacking her.
But she keeps letting her get back up. Honestly, if somebody was attacking me, the first thing I'm going to do when they're knocked out is I'm going to go and I'm going to smash their head in. There's no way I'm going to let them get back up. I would learned my lesson.
I would at least be humane and chop their feet right
Do something so that they can't get you.
You know, I don't understand why they don't do that in more movies. Just stop. You can stop a person.
Yeah. It's like the rule in Zombieland, the double tap or whatever.
Yep,
you gotta do that.
If you've ever seen John Wick makes sure nobody gets up. He shoots them right in the head.
So I'm telling you guys, if you come at me with a knife
and I
push you down the stairs, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stomp on your face with my foot.
And I will cut your feet off. And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Humanity!
The horror deconstruction.